here. I'm going to give you the expansion. We're going to start factoring trinomials now. And this is the type of factoring that when you say factoring, most people think of. So if I do x plus 3 times x plus 3, I know the answer will be x squared plus 6x plus 9. If I do x plus 1, x plus 7, I know I'm going to get x squared plus 8x plus 7. If I do 5 and 2, I'm going to get x squared plus 7x, 10. Negative 5, negative 2, I'm going to get x squared minus 7x plus 10. And the final one, we'll talk about how I know this in a sec. Plus 2x minus 48. Okay. So we want to figure out how we can go from this trinomial, or these trinomials, to these brackets. Okay. There is a pattern here. So if you look at it, what do you notice about the last term and those two terms? Yes. If you multiply these two terms in every bracket, 3 times 3 is 9, 1 times 7 is 7, 5 times 2 is 10, negative 5, negative 2 is positive 10, 8 and negative 6 is negative 48. Those last two numbers multiply to give you this. Okay. Multiply the last two terms of the brackets to get the constant term in the trinomial. Now, look at the middle term here. This term, 6. What do I do with these two numbers to get that? Add them. 3 plus 3 is 6. 1 plus 7 is 8. 5 plus 2 is 7. Negative 5, negative 2, negative 7. 8 and negative 6, positive 2. Okay? So you add to get the middle term. Any trinomial that looks like this, and we're only looking at these types in grade 10, where the number here, the leading coefficient, this bit, is 1. If it's not 1, it'll be a greatest common factor, but we'll talk about that in a sec. Okay? When they look like that, all you have to do is ask yourself what multiplies to this number, the end term, and what adds to the middle term. And that's how you factor it. And I'm going to give you a sheet that summarizes all this that you can use on your test, okay? So if we look at, we're going to go to the next page here. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not doing those. We're just going to go straight to factoring. Okay, here they are. This is classic grade 10 factoring. Factor. When they say factor, you're trying to make brackets. So we're just going to put 2 brackets in there. Now we just need to fill them in. Our first term is x, okay? And that means that we're going to have x's leading each bracket. Because if I distribute that, x times x gives me x squared, okay? The hard part, for the tricky part, is figuring out what numbers go here. So you ask yourself, what multiplies to 12 and adds to 8? So what multiplies to this and adds to that? So you just go through the numbers. What multiplies to 12? Start with 1 and 12. Can you add those to get 8? No. 3 and 4. Can you add those to get 8? Everybody knows what the answer is. 2 and 6. Can I add those to get 8? Yes. So then you just go plus 2, plus 6, and you're done. If you multiply those two brackets together, you will get x squared plus 8x plus 12. all right? Once you start to do this, it's second nature. So we're multiplying. I'm going to put an X for times and an addition for that. What multiplies to 12 and adds to 13? Go through them. Start with 1. 1 and 12. It's 1 and 12. So we just put our two brackets, put an X, put an X. It's 1 and 12, so we go plus 1, plus 12, and that's it. All right, C. Multiply, add. So when you have negatives, it gets a little trickier. What multiplies to 12 and adds to negative 13? Negative 1 and negative 12. Same thing, you put your brackets, X leads it, negative 1, negative 12. It doesn't matter if you wrote negative 12 then negative 1. Like if you wrote this, it's the same thing. Okay. What about D? Adds to 10, or sorry, multiplies to 10, adds to negative 11. Negative 1, negative 10. And instead of putting X's, we have to put A's now, just to be consistent with what they have here. So A minus 1, A minus 10. E multiplies to 4, adds to 3. It's not possible. Nothing works. Because 4 and 1 won't work, right? 4 and 1 will add, multiply to 4, but they won't add to 3. So this one is not possible. I will not put a not possible question on your test. It won't. Don't need to worry about that. There is a way to do that, but you learn about it in grade 11. So for now, we just go, not possible. All right, F. Multiplies to 50 and adds to 27. There you go. X plus 25, X plus 2. That's it. That's all you have to do. Okay. Now, notice they all have a leading coefficient of 1. The number in front of the squared term is always 1. Right? What about these two? No, hang on. Don't go. Oh, you're close. You're very close. So if you have a number that's in front for grade 10, you take out a common factor. Okay? So look at all the numbers. 4, 32, 48. What's the common factor? The hint is for grade 10s, it's pretty much always going to be what that leading number is. Okay? Because you want to make it a 1. So I'm going to take out a 4. What's left in the brackets? X squared, right? Because you're dividing by 4. What's 32 divided by 4? 8, thank you. So 8x. 48 divided by 4 is? 12. Okay, you can always check by putting the 4 back in to see if you get it. Now, look at this bracket. That looks like the ones above it. What multiplies to 12 and adds to negative 8? Go through them. Negative 2 and negative 6, right? So you write x minus 6 x minus 2. And that 4 just sits out in front like that. That is it completely factored. All right. Next one. We have a 3 in front. We don't want a 3 in front. What can I pull out? 3. Perfect. So you can pull a 3, and then you look, x cubed, x squared, x1. Pull the x with it. What's left on the inside now? If you divide 3x cubed by 3x, you're going to get x squared plus what? Plus 7x plus 10. Are you done? Why? Not expand. You factor it. You keep going until you cannot factor anymore. What multiplies to 10 and adds to 7? 5 and 2. So the 3x just pops down. You write x plus 5, x plus 2. All right? So if it has a 1 in front of the x squared, what multiplies to the end adds to the middle. If it has any number other than 1, you're going to have to take out a common factor and then do that factoring of a trinomial on the inside. The only questions I want you to do are number 7, A to H. Do them all if you need to. This is really important stuff. And then 10, A to A, B, and D.